The final bones of the upper limb, found in its most distal aspect, include the 8 carpal bones of the wrist, the 5 metacarpals in the palm of the hand, and the phalanges found in the fingers. If we look at a palmar view of the right hand, we can see the distal ends of the radius and the ulna articulating with the carpal bones at the wrist joint. There are 8 carpal bones arranged in 2 rows of 4 bones. If we look at the arrangement of these bones, first looking at the proximal row and moving from the lateral side, the side of the thumb, over to the medial side, we can see that the first bone in the proximal row is the scaphoid. Next to that is the lunate. And finally, we have the triquetrum with the pisiform bone sitting on top of it. If we move to the distal row and again start on the lateral side, the first bone that we see is the trapezium by the thumb. That's a helpful rhyme not to confuse the trapezium with the trapezoid located next to it. The next carpal bone is the largest, capitate, and finally we have the hamate. Mnemonics can be a very useful way for remembering the relationships and order of the carpal bones. In this particular mnemonic, you can see that the first letter of each word of the rhyme, "She looks too pretty, try to catch her," gives the order of the carpal bones just as we looked at them. The proximal row first, lateral to medial, "She looks too pretty," followed by the distal row, again moving lateral to medial, "Try to catch her." The next bones that we come across are the metacarpal bones. There are 5 of those, numbered 1 through to 5 from the side of the thumb, the lateral side, across to the side of the little finger on the medial side of the hand. And next we have the phalanges, and to identify these, we describe them as the proximal phalanx, the middle phalanx, and the distal phalanx, remembering that there are just 2 phalanges, a proximal and a distal phalanx, in the thumb. In terms of the joints, the radius and the proximal row of carpal bones articulate together to form the radiocarpal or wrist joint, which is classified as a synovial condyloid or ellipsoid joint. The intercarpal joints themselves form articulations with each other, and these are classified as synovial plane joints. The first metacarpal joint is a very unique joint and is classified as a synovial saddle joint, and the remaining carpometacarpal joints are all synovial condyloid or ellipsoid joints. We then come to the metacarpophalangeal joints that form the knuckles of your hand, and these are also synovial condyloid or ellipsoid articulations. And finally, the interphalangeal joints between the phalanges. We have a proximal and a distal interphalangeal joint in each finger, and just an interphalangeal joint in the thumb. And all of these are classified as synovial hinge joints.